Now, from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
That breaking news right off the top at 6. New details on our big story. Police have now identified the suspect shot by police this morning in Norfolk as 24-year-old Tyree Privet.
And now we know the man shot was the suspect in a murder just hours before and not far down the street. A lot of moving parts of this story, but they all seem to be coming together tonight.
Yeah, and here's what we've just found out in the past hour. 24-year-old Chaz Hall was shot and killed last night around 10:30 on East Ocean View Avenue. Police quickly identified the suspect, 25-year-old Tyree Privet, and within hours, he was tracked down just off Chesapeake Boulevard. That's when the chaos ensued. Police approached the suspect, gunfire was exchanged, and in the end, Privet was dead. A lot of unanswered questions remain tonight.
We have team coverage of this story for you. Matt Gregory and Joe Fisher have been covering different angles to this chain of events.
Yeah, and Matt, we'll start with you.
Anita and Tom, we now know what happened in the early morning hours from information just released about a half hour ago from Norfolk police. Here, we now know why police shot a man in Norfolk and the events that led up to causing the officers to draw their guns. In the early morning hours along Chesapeake Boulevard, police say 2 officers tracked down a suspect from an earlier homicide. But when they approached the man, according to police, he shot at them.
I was laying down on my phone, and then I heard 5 shots. And then I looked out my window to see the officer standing over top of him. And then after that, it was a whole bunch of police officers just came. 5
hours earlier, police investigated a homicide along Ocean View Avenue. A suspect description from this crime led officers a few blocks away to Tyree Privet of Norfolk. Police say after he shot at them, one of the 2 officers returned fire.
I was just kind of like scared because I didn't know what happened or who did what. And when I seen the police officers out here early, like as soon as it happened, I was like, okay. It kind of gave me a suspicion, like, was the police involved or was it somebody else?
According to police, the suspect died at the scene. The officer who fired the fatal shots is an 11-year veteran of the force. Police did not release his name. The second officer on the scene did not fire his gun. Privet had warrants against him for second-degree murder and the use of a firearm in a felony. To neighbors, it was just another frightful night after a week of gun violence.
It's just scary because I just don't like, I just think about my family all the time. I'm just glad they be in the house, and because it's ridiculous out here. It's every day from here and in Portsmouth. Every day somebody's dying.
Now, as far as body camera video, according to police, the officer who fired the fatal shots was not issued a body camera yet, and the second officer on the scene is a recent graduate of the police academy and did not turn his body camera on when the events began. In Norfolk, Matt Gregory, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Matt. And this is the second deadly shooting involving Norfolk police this year. In January, Norfolk police shot 58-year-old Keith Richardson after a 7-hour standoff. Richardson killed a Norfolk police canine during the standoff before police shot him. He died later at the hospital. Now to how all of this started, the shooting of Chaz Hall at a motel on East Ocean View Avenue.
Regardless of the fact that this shooting and the suspect shooting are connected, people in Ocean View are worried about a rash of violent crime in the neighborhood. 10 on your side's Joe Fisher continues our team coverage. Joe?
Tom and Anita, these 2 shooting incidents are 2 of at least 6 shootings citywide in Norfolk just this week. Tonight, police say each of the violent acts are isolated incidents, but that information comes as no comfort to residents who say they are simply sick and tired of the crime. This memorial outside the Ocean View Inn on East Ocean View Avenue in Norfolk marks the spot where police say 24-year-old Chaz Hall was shot and killed. Police say 25-year-old Tyree Privet pulled the trigger on him just after 10 o'clock Thursday night.
Just can't happen like this. It's just, this ain't it. He was a good dude. I mean, he don't deserve this.
Officers say they pursued leads right away and identified Privet as a suspect. Around 4 a.m., they located Privet and started to speak with him when they say he shot at police. An officer returned fire, killing him.
It's a little too close to home, and it needs to be addressed.
In Ocean View alone, there's been more than 5 shooting incidents since December. The Civic League's vice president says the recent violence highlights a long-standing problem in the neighborhood.
It's not the gun, it's the people. Why? Why don't they love life? Why don't they enjoy living? Why are they taking, that turn in their life to take someone else's life? Because it destroys not only one or two families, it destroys a community.
She says the crime gives the neighborhood with 7+ miles of beach a bad name, and she wants to see an increased police presence permanently.
We would like this area to become marketable. We would like to have some growth in the area.
Meantime, loved ones have to say goodbye to a 24-year-old father, son, and brother, an aspiring rapper who is trying to turn his life around after recently getting out of jail.
That's all he did was smile and be happy. He loved kids, he loved everybody.
And we did ask Norfolk police about an increased police presence. They told us just a little bit ago that because of the violence, not only in Ocean View, but throughout the city over the past week, they are increasing police presence on the streets. And they say they will be pulling officers and detectives from different departments within the department to utilize on the streets, to include community resource officers and detectives from other departments. Meantime, Chaz Hall's family tells me they will be having a memorial candlelight vigil tonight at 7 o'clock at the Ocean View Inn. All are invited to attend. We're live in the newsroom tonight. I'm Joe Fisher. 10 on your side.